We on? Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the City of Hialeah Planning and Zoning Board meeting for Wednesday, March 13, 2024. Everyone, please rise for the invocation, pledge of allegiance.
Yeah, everyone, thank you for the opportunity to give us to be here to help our citizens and make the right decisions for them. Please grant us the wisdom to make the right decisions for them. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. I apologize for my voice, so
Meeting guidelines. The following guidelines apply to today's Planning and Zoning Board meeting. Any person, whether participating via the web platform, telephonic conferencing, or physical presence at City Hall, interested in making comments or posing questions on any item on the agenda may do so during the meeting. Members of the public may hear the meeting live through telephonic conferencing using any telephone or cellular phone service. A smart device or computer are not necessary to participate in the meeting if you join by phone. All persons participating via the web platform will be muted during the meeting until called upon to be heard. Participation through Zoom requires a computer or smart mobile device with a microphone and web camera. The participant may elect to participate in the meeting using audio only or appear through both audio and video. The video function of all participants appearing through video will be turned off until called upon to be heard. All lobbyists must register with the Planning and Zoning Board prior to item being heard. A maximum of 4 speakers in favor and 4 speakers in opposition will be allowed to address the Planning and Zoning Board on any item. Each speaker's comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Roll call. Mr. Perez,
here.
Mr. Mason, Mr. Iglesias,
Here.
Mr. Jimenez is absent. Mr. Ulloa,
Here.
Mr. Santiesteban is absent. Mrs. Enrique? Here. We have a quorum.
Oh, there he is. At this time, I'd like to take a second and recognize Luis Rodriguez, Councilman Luis Rodriguez for the city. Keeping an eye on us back there. Welcome aboard.
So let the record show that Mr. Jimenez is
He is
present.
present.
Administration of oath to all applicants and anyone who will be speaking before the board on any item.
Anyone that's going to speak in front of the board, please stand and raise your right hand. Todas las personas que van a hablar, a prestar testamento, por favor, levanta la mano y jure.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth before this board? ¿Usted jura o afirma decir la verdad al frente de esta junta?
Thank you. Let the record show the answer was in the affirmative.
Summary minutes or a copy of the audio file of the proceedings before the Planning and Zoning Board shall be prepared and submitted to the City Council before its hearing. The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the City Council at its scheduled meeting of Tuesday, March 26, 2024. LU1.
Okay, we're going to have a 2-part meeting tonight. Land use amendments, 2 items, and then we will go into regular planning and zoning. Go ahead.
LU1. Small scale map amendment from low density residential to office and professional services. Properties located at 715 East 26th Street, Hialeah, Florida, zoned R1, 1 family district. Applicant, Manny Reos, architect.
Name and address, please.
Manny Rose Architect with offices at 18501 Pines Boulevard, Suite 342, Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Thank you, sir.
The property in this application is currently improved with a single-family residential structure originally built in 1949, located at the north side of East 26th Street, right in front of Hialeah Hospital. The property is approximately 0.31 acres and is surrounded by low-density residential office, and major institution land uses. The application proposes to create a 2-story medical office development with ground level parking. The amendment concurrency determination considers public facilities availability such as water and sewer, solid waste, drainage, and road. Water and sewers and roads comply with the adopted level of service, and the school and parks concurrency determination is not required for a commercial project. Staff analysis recognizes that the property is suitable to office and professional land use due to its proximity to major institutions such as Hialeah Hospital and is compatible with the low-density residential structure surrounding the property. The proposed project supports and encourages the medical environment surrounding the property. In addition, the project is proposing to include 100% of the required parking on site. The request is consistent with the city's comprehensive plan. Recommendation: approve the land use amendment.
Thank you. No variances at all on this, right?
No, this is only the land use, and then in this same hearing, you will be able to listen to the rezoning.
Thank you. Manny?
Yes, good evening. I'm here to present a beautiful two-story medical building right across the backside of the Hialeah Hospital, which will include approximately about 4,900 square feet on the second floor. Most probably will be split half and half with two different doctors, general practitioners, and we have enough parking, and we feel very comfortable with the design and considerations and discussions that we've had with Deborah. If anybody has any questions, please, I'm here to answer them.
Thank you, sir. Comments or questions from the board?
To the chair.
Yes, sir.
So the property has access through both streets in the front and the back.
No, there's no street in the back.
There's no street because
No,
trying to look at the,
no, it's a,
because I see there's parking in the back.
yeah, there's parking. You go through the building.
Oh, it's inside the building.
Yes, underneath the
Oh,
building.
So it's like a two-story.
It's a two-story building, offices on the second floor and parking on the ground floor with a lobby, elevator and so forth and stairs.
Okay, that was my confusion.
Okay, that's all right.
You have a rendering of the building.
There's a rendering on the front page.
On the front page.
And as usual, your wife has done a remarkable.
Oh,
job.
yeah.
You got to give her my regards.
Hey.
She's a tough cookie.
She is. That's all right.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Does that answer your question, Ms. Jimenez? Thank you. Any more comments or questions from the board? Anyone in the audience? Anyone in the electronic audience? Close our public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second that motion?
Motion by Mrs. Enriquez, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Mason? Mr. Perez? Mr. Ulloa?
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez?
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias?
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez? Yes. Item has been approved.
Just
Thank
for
you.
the record, that was a yes, even though it wasn't very loud.
LU two. Small scale map amendment from residential office to office and professional services. Properties located at 3499 West Fourth Avenue, Hialeah, Florida, zoned RO Residential Office District. Applicant Cesar Mestre Esquire on behalf of Elsa LLC.
Good afternoon, Cesar Mestre with offices at 8105 Northwest 155th Street, Miami Lakes, Florida.
Thank you, sir.
The property is located at the southwest corner of West Fourth Avenue and 35th Street intersection. The lot is approximately 10,166 square feet of area and is currently developed as a medical center. The property received a land use amendment approval pursuant to Ordinance 8490, amending the property from single-family residential to residential office. Therefore, the property has been operating as a medical center since late 1980s. The property owner also owns the corner lot across the street, and it has requested to amend the land use of such lot to conform with the land use of office and professional services. According to this application, a land use amendment from residential office to office and professional services, this request would conform with other land uses along West Fourth Avenue. The land use amendment would be compatible with the surrounding properties and with the current use of the property. The applicant is to maintain the current use of the property as a medical center. The property is to request rezoning and comply with the site plan requirements already approved for the property. Recommendation approved.
Thank you. Mr. Mestre.
Yeah, I have a small presentation.
I can't share my screen.
Sorry about that.
This property is located at the corner of West Fourth and West 35th Street. It's the northernmost property on that block. If you go to the next slide, you'll see that there already is, the next one after that. There already is, several properties that are RO. The one across the street from us, which belongs to the same client, has already been, rezoned to professional offices. And that's exactly the same thing that we're trying to do here. The next slide. This is what the building looks like now. And it's been a medical office since the 80s. The next one is what we're proposing. We'll come back before you for the rezoning portion, but it's basically going to be a match to what's going across the street, which is a vacant lot now, but it's going to be a med spa, which has already been approved by you guys for land use, and the rezoning has already been done. So we're just trying to match this one with that. They're going to be very similar architectural accents. Next slide. That's the one that is before you now. Keep going. And this is the one that is going to be going up across the street. So based on the staff's recommendation, we would ask you respectfully for a recommendation of approval. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
One comment I have that in residential office and in OPS, you cannot have a clinic, you can have medical offices. So the SOSA clinic will have to be SOSA medical office.
Okay.
Any comments, questions? Yes.
What is the difference? Clinic to medical office?
Because in the clinic, you have more doctors and you can have overnight stay, but in the medical office is outpatients.
Which it's called a clinic, but it's an outpatient center.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Any more comments or questions? Anyone in the audience?
I guess the clinic is more like a hospital.
Clinic is more like a mini hospital. Yeah.
Anyone in the electronic audience? Closes the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion,
Motion to approve.
second the motion.
Motion by Mrs. Enriquez, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez. Yes. Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias.
Yes.
Item has been approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. That will conclude the land. Thank you. That concludes the land use amendment part of the meeting. Go into the regular planning and zoning meeting.
Item number 1, approval of planning and zoning board summary agenda of February 28, 2024, as submitted. Second. So we have a motion by Mr. Ulloa, second by Mrs. Enriquez. Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez. Yes. Mr. Perez.
Yes.
Item has been approved. A written decision and resolution will be prepared and presented for review to the city council. The city council is authorized to affirm with conditions, or override the decisions by resolution. After the resolution is adopted, contact a member of the city clerk's office to obtain a copy of the final decision and resolution. Upon your receipt of the final decision and resolution, contact the building department to obtain your required building permit. Summary minutes or a copy of the audio file of the proceedings before the Planning and Zoning Board shall be prepared and submitted to the city council before its hearing. The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the city council at a scheduled meeting of Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. Item number 2. Final,
Before we continue, I want to make clear to everyone, and I will say it in Spanish, what she just read says, upon your receipt of a final decision and resolution, contact the building department to obtain your required building permit. This means that this is one step. So to complete the legalization, you need to go and pull a building permit. Lo que quiero aclarar, porque a veces hay mucha confusión y la gente no escucha, que una vez que reciben la decisión final o la resolución, tienen que contactar al departamento de building para obtener el permiso de construcción. Acá lo que están haciendo es pidiendo permiso para ciertos setbacks o ciertas variaciones, pero el proceso acá empieza, no termina. Después tienen que ir al building department y sacar el permiso correspondiente. We can continue.
item number 2. Final decision to allow north side setback of 3 feet 10 inches or 6.5 feet are required for an accessory building, garage/storage to be legalized. Property is located at 3950 West First Avenue, Hialeah, zoned R1, one family district. Applicant, Luis Padilla and Yerene Jiménez. Tiene que venir. Yeah, you can. Are you Luis?
Okay, we can translate in Spanish.
Name and address, nombre y dirección.
Sí.
Nombre de-
3950 West, Primera Avenida, Hialeah, Florida, 3302.
Su nombre.
Jeremy Jiménez.
¿Y usted?
Name is Livan Padilla, 3950 West First Avenue, Hialeah, Florida, 33016.
Is your mother?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So, well, maybe you can translate, or if she wants, I can read it in English and then in Spanish, whatever you prefer. The subject lot was built in 1951 as a single-family structure consisting of 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. The structure was modified by adding an open carport in 1963 under building permit 62404. In addition, a concrete slab was added to the side and front of the main structure in 2002 under building permit 4605. The lot has constantly been modified by adding the following improvements without the benefit of a building permit. Extension of the side concrete slab. These slabs need to comply with a 2-foot side setback for drainage. Rear concrete slabs and paver throughout the property. All impervious areas need to be included under a building permit. Rear canopies, all need a building permit. Enclosure of the open carport needs building permits to be legalized. Detached accessory structure of approximately 325 square feet needs building permits to be legalized and a final decision for side setback variance. As described above, a detached accessory structure was built without the benefit of a building permit and was built at only 3 feet and 10 inches from the north side property line. Therefore, the property owner is requesting a final decision to permit a north side setback reduction. The use of the detached structure is to be storage garage. All the improvements and demolitions reflected in plans submitted as part of this application, signed and sealed by Rafael Droz Seda, PE, dated April 29, 2023, are required to submit building permits. Recommendation, staff recommends approval with the above conditions. ¿Quiere que se lo lea en español? Sí. El siguiente lote fue construido en 1951 como una vivienda unifamiliar, incluyendo 2 dormitorios y un baño. La estructura fue modificada con la adición de un carport abierto en 1963 con el permiso número 62404. Además de eso, una superficie concreto fue agregada en el costado y en el frente de la estructura principal en el año 2002 bajo el permiso 4605. El lote fue cambiado, modificado constantemente con la adición de las siguientes mejoras sin el beneficio de un permiso de construcción. Extensión de la superficie de concreto del lado. Esta superficie de concreto necesita cumplir con el requerimiento de dejar una separación lateral de 2 pies para drenaje. Superficies de concreto en la parte posterior de la casa y pavers en el resto de la casa. Todas esas áreas que son consideradas áreas impermeables tienen que ser incluidas en el permiso de construcción. Los toldos en la parte trasera también necesitan un permiso de construcción. El cerramiento del carport abierto también necesita permisos del Departamento de Building para ser legalizado. Y la estructura accesoria separada de la casa de aproximadamente 325 pies cuadrados necesita permisos de construcción para ser legalizado y una decisión final por la variante del retiro lateral. Como descrito más arriba, esta estructura separada de la casa fue construida sin el beneficio de un permiso de construcción y fue construida a tan solo 3 pies y 10 pulgadas de la línea de propiedad del lado norte. Por lo tanto, el propietario está solicitando una decisión final para permitir un retiro lateral en el lado norte reducido. El uso de la estructura separada de la casa es para guardado, o sea, estoraje y garage. Todas las mejoras y demoliciones que se muestran en los planos sometidos como parte de esta aplicación que están firmados y sellados por Rafael Drozeda, ingeniero, con fecha abril 29, 2023. Tienen que ser sometidos para permiso de construcción. La recomendación es aprobación con las condiciones antes expresadas.
Thank you, Mrs. Storch. Any comments or questions? ¿Una pregunta, un comentario? ¿Entendieron lo que le dijeron? Mr. Questions from the board?
Through the chair.
Yes, sir.
So to understand this, in order to allow them to have a setback of 8 feet, 10 inches for a shed, they have to get permits for everything else.
Exacto.
¿Entendieron?
Okay, any more comments or questions? Anyone in the audience? Anyone in the electronic audience? Close to the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second.
With conditions.
So we have a motion by Mr. Jimenez, second by Mrs. Enrique. Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias.
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
item has been approved with conditions. Item number 3. Final decision to allow rear setback of 20 feet where 25 feet are required for an open terrace to be legalized. Property is located at 399 West 64th Street, Hialeah Zones R1, One Family District. Applicant Armanda Fernandez.
Nombre y dirección, por favor. Name and address.
Armanda René Fernández, 399 West 64 Street, Hialeah, 33012.
Thank you.
¿Va a necesitar traducción?
Me gustaría que ustedes me fueran
Bueno,
traductora.
se la traduzco. Esta propiedad está desarrollada como un dúplex a través de una declaración. Sorry, first I need to read it in English. This property is developed as a duplex through a declaration of condominium and ordinance 7820. The lot is a regular 75 feet by 102 feet. However, the condominium condition and ordinance affecting the lot allow the land to be developed as a duplex. The improvements being legalized are only affecting the unit located at 399 West 64th Street, since the property located at 397 West 64th Street already obtained a final decision to legalize the rear aluminum roof according to Ordinance 2014-102. The request of this application is for an aluminum roof to the rear of the property, which was installed without the benefit of a building permit prior to 2005, according to Miami-Dade County record. This case is in front of the board as the result of a code violation, 2019-03310. Therefore, the property owner shall obtain a building permit and maintain the terrace open on all 3 sides. Recommendation approval with the condition that the terrace shall be maintained open on all 3 sides. Ahora lo voy a traducir. La propiedad está desarrollada como un dúplex a través de una declaración de condominio y la ordenanza número 7820. El lote es un lote regular de 75 pies por 102 pies. Sin embargo, la condición de condominio y la ordenanza afectando al lote permitió que la tierra fuera desarrollada como un dúplex. Las mejoras que se están legalizando solo afectan a la unidad localizada en el número 399 de la West 64 Street, dado que la propiedad ubicada en el 397 West 64 Street ya obtuvo una decisión final para legalizar el techo posterior de aluminio de acuerdo con la ordenanza 2014-102. La solicitud de esta aplicación es para un techo de aluminio en la parte posterior de la estructura principal que fue instalado sin el beneficio de un permiso de construcción antes del año 2005, de acuerdo a los récords del condado de Miami-Dade. El caso enfrente del board es el resultado de una violación de código con número 2019-03310. Por lo tanto, el dueño debe obtener un permiso de construcción y mantener la terraza abierta en los 3 lados. Recomendación: aprobación con la condición que la terraza se mantenga abierta en 3 lados.
Está abierta.
Thank you.
Se mantiene abierta.
¿Usted entendió la
Se
recomendación?
mantiene y se mantendrá abierta.
Perfecto.
Esa es la recomendación de que me la mantengan abierta siempre, que no la encierren.
Bueno, y por supuesto tiene que ir y obtener un permiso para realizarlo con el permiso.
Ordenar
un permiso de construcción. Tiene que ir al Building Department y someter los planos para legalizar esta estructura. Ahora lo que le estamos dando acá, bueno, cuando ellos voten, es que le dejan tener una separación de 20 pies donde se requieren 25.
Sí.
Eso es lo que va a obtener hoy. Y después tiene que hacer los planos, ir al departamento de Building y terminar el proceso de legalización.
Pero yo todos los planes, todo lo que tenía, yo le entregué en el departamento de.
No. Usted lo entregó para que consideremos el caso del retiro. Después tiene que ir al departamento de
Deborah,
Building.
Deborah,
todo-
Deborah,
She already has the
speaking.
building permit.
You have to
Ah,
speak
she has the
English.
building permit.
already
Ah,
has the
okay,
building
okay,
permit.
okay.
Deborah,
Okay.
you're gonna have
So
to
you
repeat
should
that.
lo tiene que continuar su permiso. de building.
Continuar a través de.
Una vez que obtenga esta
Ay, no,
aprobación, va a tener un papel.
Deborah,
Yes.
we need to speak English.
Okay. Once that you get the approval today, this will go to city council and you will get a resolution. Once you get that resolution, you attach that to the plans that you already have in process and the process will continue. Lo que estoy diciendo es que una vez que ellos aprueban, esto va a los concejales el día 9 de abril. Y entonces después va a obtener un papel que se llama una decisión final. Una vez que tiene ese papel, se lo tiene que agregar a los planos que ya están en proceso y así sigue el proceso de legalización.
Pero yo lo que quería preguntar, todo lo que se ha presentado, ¿hay algo más que hacer o eso ya es todo? para
Esto que
presentar?
yo le estoy explicando, se lo estoy explicando acá para que estén los récords, pero después si necesita más detalle puede venir y Giselis o yo o Adonis en mi departamento se lo explicamos. What I explained her briefly what is the process and I'm telling her that if she needs further assistance, she's welcome to come to our department and we will explain in detail what the process that she needs to follow.
Referente a lo que tenemos puesto afuera sobre el gire, lo seguimos teniendo puesto afuera hasta que ustedes decidan la terminación final.
El cartel, ¿no?
Y el
Yes.
cartel.
Okay. Comments or questions?
Permiso.
Comments or questions? On the board? Anyone in the audience? Okay, usted prehizo una pregunta del cartel anaranjado. Sí, eso debe mantenerlo. She's asking about the sign, the
The
public notice
notice,
sign that
yeah.
should stay up. Okay. So there's no comments or questions? Anyone in the audience? Close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve with condition.
Second that motion?
So we have a motion by Mrs. Enriquez, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Ulloa,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez.
Yes.
Item has been approved with conditions.
Si acaso usted tiene una duda o una pregunta, lo mejor que hace es visitar la oficina en el segundo piso mañana o pasado y entonces ellos le aclaran exactamente lo que necesitan.
Está muy bien.
Okay.
Muchísimas gracias. Eso es
Any
todo.
comments or questions that you may have, go down to the second floor. They'll take care of you. They'll answer them for you. Okay, thank you.
The Planning and Zoning Board recommendations for the following public hearing requests will be heard by the City Council at a scheduled meeting of Tuesday, March 26, 2024. Item number 4, rezoning property from R1 One Family District to OPS, Office of Professional Services District. Variance permit to allow interior west side setback to 2 inches where 5 feet 1 inch is the minimum required, and allow 18% pervious area where 30% pervious area is the minimum required. Property is located at 715 East 26th Street, Hialeah, zoned R1 One Family District. Applicant Manny Reos, architect.
Thank you.
Manny Rose Architect with offices at 18501 Pines Boulevard, Suite 342, Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Thank you, sir.
The property in this application is currently improved with a single-family residential structure originally built in 1949, located at the north side of East 26th Street, right in front of Hialeah Hospital. The property is approximately 0.31 acres and is surrounded by low-density residential office, and major institutions land use. This application is seeking to rezone the lot from R1 to OPS to be developed with a 2-story medical office building with a contemporary architecture style. The proposed design includes a ground-level surface parking area with 24 parking spaces, fully satisfying the parking requirements of the office and professional services zoning. The surface parking area is accessible through a stamped concrete driveway, which includes an overhead roll-up door protecting most of the parking spaces. The driveway length is approximately 45 feet, enough to queue 2 vehicles accessing the parking area. In addition, access to the second floor professional offices is through an elevator and 2 staircases. The elevator lobby is approximately 869 square feet, and the second floor professional office accommodates 4,893 square feet of professional offices. The design incorporates a 6 feet concrete wall along the property line, buffering the low-density neighboring property. The project is requesting 2 variances. One is an interior side setback to permit 2 inches where 5 feet 1 inch is required. This interior west side setback is to accommodate one of the staircases, which is providing required ingress-egress to the building. The staircase is approximately 22 feet and 6 inches long, and the remaining of the building is providing between 18 feet to 13 feet of setback from the west property line. The project is also requesting to decrease the pervious area of the lot, providing only 18% of the pervious material instead of the 30% of permeability required. The mitigation of this variance is to provide engineered drainage through the entire lot. Conditions. Landscaping and irrigation plans are required to meet the city's landscaping manual. Undergrounding of utility lines at the time of construction, and as part of the site plan, approval and clearance letter from all utility companies having rights over the rear easement. And the building shall provide finishes as to materials and colors according to the renderings and color palettes submitted along with this application. Recommendations. Staff is recommending approval for the rezoning and for the variances with the conditions stipulated above.
Thank you, Mr. Storch. Manny?
Yes, good evening. I'm here again presenting the beautiful building. We're complying with everything except the minor setback on the left side because of fire, common path of travel, and the 18% of the pervious area. We wanted to make sure that we had enough parking, which we do. We have 24 parking spaces, which is more than plenty. So basically, it's a simple building, beautiful modern building, and it would be a great asset to the medical corridor in the area. So if anybody has any questions, please, I'm here to answer them.
We're talking about the previous
Yes, sir.
item.
Yes, sir.
The owners are here. They are Hialeah residents. I have known them for many years. And the purpose of this building is to build a building so the daughter and his sister will move her medical practice to Hialeah together with
Yes.
one of her colleagues.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you, his wife is,
Huh.
man, she's got the golden pen. Any comments or questions? Any comments or questions from the public? Anyone in Zoom? Close the public hearing. It was a pleasure with the board.
Motion to approve with conditions.
Second that motion with conditions?
Motion by Mrs. Enriquez, second by Mr. Iglesias. Mr. Perez,
Yes.
Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez. Yes. Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Mr. Iowa.
Yes.
Item has been approved with conditions.
Thank you.
Item number 5. Conditional use permit to allow an existing living facility, ALF, with 87 beds. Existing ALF since 1985. Variance permit to allow 7 parking spaces where 29 parking spaces are required. Property is located at 68 West 7th Street, Hialeah zoned R3D, multiple family district. Applicant, Sarepta number 4 LLC, Odelmis Bello.
Before I read, well, the city would say your name.
Name and address, please.
Odelmis Bello,
Address?
68 West, 7th Street.
Thank you.
Before I read the recommendation, I would like her to introduce herself because she has many ALFs in the city. And what she really did is like the stigma and the bad perception that we had for all the ALFs in the city. She really changed that. So I would like her to introduce herself. Now I will say it in Spanish.
Yeah.
So you all hear who she is and what she has done.
I prefer in Spanish because my English, I speak English, but
We're gonna give you your 5 minutes of,
No.
Yeah, you,
I prefer in Spanish.
you say 1 or 2 sentences and then I translate and then you continue.
Okay, perfect.
Bien, mi nombre es Odelmis Bello. Soy la dueña de los centros Salmos 23 en Hialeah. Actualmente ya tengo 6 centros.
Ella se llama Odelmis Bello y es la dueña de los, no, ay, sorry. Her name is Odelmis Bello and she's the owner of the assisted living facilities, Salmo 23, and she currently has 6 facilities in the city.
Cuando empecé en el 2003, fue la primera vez que compré un centro de los míos. A partir de ahí empecé a interesarme por la comunidad hispana en toda la comunidad de la ciudad de Hialeah. He comprado propiedades en muy malas condiciones de la ciudad, las he remodelado y las he convertido en luz.
She first started with one facility en qué año?
En 2003.
In 2003, and then she got interest in the community, in the Hispanic community, and she bought many properties that were run down, and she transformed them into excellent properties.
Por esta razón, este último centro que compré, el enfoque de Salmo 23 es ofrecer calidad de vida a los residentes de la comunidad.
In the last center that she bought, the goal of the Salmo 23 is to provide a good quality of life for the residents.
Este último centro que compré tiene una licencia de 72 camas, pero el edificio, hay una parte del edificio muy grande que tiene los cuartos y está todo listo para crecerlo.
This facility, although has 72 beds, it has a space to grow. There is another wing of the building that has the capacity for the added beds, and that is what she is requesting.
La idea es poder darle calidad de vida a muchas personas que vienen a los centros buscando un lugar donde vivir debido a los altos precios que hay en la economía y las personas mayores no pueden
So
pagar.
her goal again is to provide a good quality of life for the residents that are seeking a place to live now that the economy is so bad for those apartments. Ahora I will read my report.
Okay.
The property in this application consists of 20,250 square feet lot located at the south side of West 7th Street between West First Avenue and Palm Avenue. The lot is improved with 3 attached 2-story buildings. This property has been operating as an assisted living facility since 1985, which received a parking and landscaping variance according to Ordinance 0897, approved in December 2008. This ALF has been operating with 72 beds since then, with only 7 parking spaces. Since no complaints are recorded, it seems that the operation with such parking reduction is not posing pressure in the neighborhood due to the nature of the business. This application includes a bed increase to 87 beds, which will require a conditional use permit to modify the increase of bed, and in addition, an increase in parking variance to support the increase. The parking variance is to provide 7 parking spaces where 29 spaces are required. Since the property has been operating as an ALF with the existing 7 parking spaces, the increase in bed requests may not impose a greater impact on the ALF operation. The property shall record the declaration of restrictions. Landscaping shall be according to the approved 2008 site plan. A landscaping recertification shall be performed and approved within 3 months of the second reading, if approved. Staff recommendation approval with the condition of recording a declaration of restriction and landscaping recertification.
Did you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you have any comments or questions?
No.
Comments or questions from the board?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead, please.
I know this facility, I sell her soul. I work for Ecolab and I take care of the space. The parking's not an issue there. The older people that are living there don't need parking. The place is kept beautiful. It's got a garden with little birds and everything.
Thank you.
It's magnificent. I want to put my mother-in-law there.
When she came with the first center, she came with the plans that were amazing. And we will give her much
Yeah.
credit. We said she will never finish that. She's a kind of project that is very ambitious, and she finished it. Not only that, but other ones that you pass by, I passed by during the years, and I said, there's no remedy for this. And she did everything we spoke, the landscaping, the parking, everything. So
All of her locations are
Thank you.
immaculate and beautiful, and I can attest that I've been inside, so I know that
yeah, me too.
she's taking care of it very, very well. I don't know if it's a conflict of interest for me to vote on it because she is a customer of mine.
Just out of caution, I would excuse myself.
I'm going to excuse myself, but I really recommend you guys to approve this. This is a wonderful lady and she's doing a lot of support for the community.
Thank you so much.
So,
Thank you. So I would approve, but I can't. It's you by my soul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John, you'll have to leave the room for the
Okay,
vote.
no worries.
these comments that Mrs. Storch made, take them to the bank. She's very good,
Thank
but
you.
very seldom does she,
It's true.
does she, come up with
Thank you.
good, so.
Thank
Through
you.
the
It's a big
chair.
plus for you. Yes, sir.
And it's very surprising.
Yeah, it's true because I don't give.
It's
that
very
many.
surprising because she's always asking for more parking spaces and more parking.
John,
And here, I'm like,
John.
wait, she wants less parking?
Oh, okay.
Que me sorprende porque ella siempre pide más parqueo, más parqueo, más parqueo. Y es la primera vez que veo que pide menos parqueo. So, es asombroso.
Es que ella sabe que en la comunidad, desgraciadamente, que nosotros atendemos, no reciben visitas. Los parqueos ahí sobran. La comunidad ha visto el cambio positivo que Salmo 23 ha traído para mejorar la calidad de vida de los ancianos. Como son propiedades antiguas, no tienen mucho parqueo, pero créame que no lo necesita porque ahí no va nadie.
Tiene que saber con algo del Salmo
What she's saying,
23
yeah.
porque John también siempre es el que se pone opuesto a las cosas y estaba súper contento. So,
Sí, porque
esto es especial.
conocen de los centros. Lo invito que cuando quiera de verdad puede.
Todavía no tengo la edad, pero gracias.
No, pero no puede
Ok.
visitar, no tiene que estar mayor para
Bueno,
visitar.
está bien, gracias.
She's saying that unfortunately, the residents that are there don't receive that many visits, so the parking is more than enough.
And she's inviting everyone
For
to come and
visiting,
visit.
invite everybody.
And
from
Mr.
visiting.
Jimenez very eloquently said that he's not old enough, but you can still visit. Okay, comments or questions? Anyone in the audience? Anyone in the electronic audience? What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve or second that motion.
Motion by Mr. Iglesias, second by Mr. Jimenez. Mr. Mason,
Yes.
Mr. Iglesias,
Yes.
Mrs. Enriquez,
Yes.
Mr. Jimenez,
Yes.
Mr. Perez,
Yes,
item has been approved.
Thank you.
thank you. Good luck.
Miscellaneous items not requiring advertising. Item number 6, old business. No old business. Item number 7, new business.
Well, we have completed the first round of the master plan workshops. Mr. Jimenez visited us in one of those workshops. So if you were not able to come, you still have the opportunity to participate through the website. The website is very good. We update it every time that we have an event, we update it, and there's a survey that you can do. There will be other activities to participate. There will be like a cycling event that will end in the Shoma Village with a food truck event. So you're invited to come. Well,
That's it. Any other business? No more business? Okay. Meeting is adjourned.